Hi everybody, this is Gina joining you again from my garden at the ranch here in Deep South Texas. Today is Monday, October 29th, and this is the 9th weekend of the garden at the ranch. There are a lot of changes that have happened this weekend, mostly because the garden is coming right along, but also because I took off a couple extra days from work to have a nice 4-day weekend. Needed a break, and also just to spend some time in the garden and spend some time with my family. So let's try to keep this video short and move right along. Like I said, it's October 29th. Today we are going to reach a high of between 89 or 90 degrees. We did get some temperatures, daytime temperatures in the 60s this week. We did have a northern blow through, and when it came through, it came with a lot of wind. Sustained winds were around 30 with gusts up to 40, and it kind of tore up the garden a bit. As you can see, some things look a little tattered over there, but we got some other things in, and let's talk about that. So here in these rows, this is, I think, the third attempt to put things into this row or into these two rows. As you know, I had put in some corn that was originally destroyed by worms, and then I tried to put in some seeds. They were old seeds for cruciferous vegetables and carrots, things like that. Nothing happened with that. I mean, it was old, and I kind of figured not a whole lot would happen, and hardly anything did. And I'll show you what did happen and what didn't happen. Something new that I did. Yes, I'm trying corn again. I know it's a little late, and I had said I wouldn't do it, but I did it, and the corn is coming up, and I have BT, and I've already sprayed it with BT, so that should not be an issue. So as I said, the cruciferous vegetables didn't come up, so I got some little plant starts. They're Bonnie plant starts. I got them from Home Depot, I believe, in my city that I live in. Oh, I hope that glare isn't bothering y'all. Let me get a better angle on this. Get out of the sun. Okay, so over there in that row we have some artwork, I believe is what it's called, stir-fry broccoli, and then dark green magic hybrid regular broccoli. We also have some curly leafed kale. Over here we have Swiss chard. It is a mix of the Swiss chard that I planted, which was neon lights, and some plant starts, again Bonnie plant starts, and that was bright lights hybrid or breed. Down here we have cauliflower, no particular type, at least that's what the tag said. These are my early Scarlet Globe radishes coming in nicely. Here is some Ruby Perfection cabbage that I put in about 2 days ago. Over there we have some Brussels sprouts. These are the Detroit dark red medium top beets. And also over here we have some Savoy cabbage. So those are all of my newbies. Over here we have the early summer yellow crookneck squash. As you can see, they are coming right along. I have put out some diatomaceous earth because we still have a lot of creepy crawly bugs going on because it is still so warm down here in South Texas. I tried very, very hard to keep it on the ground and not get it on the plants. I missed in a few spots and got it on the leaves, but I tried my best not to get it on any of the flowers, trying not to harm the bees. I also went through, and the wind had kind of blown all of these into a single row, and I had planted 2 separate rows, so I went through and pulled them apart to kind of give them some spacing. I also pulled out some of the weaker plants because it was a little overcrowded, and I may come back and pull some more out next week. As you can see, well, I don't know if you can see, but the bees are working, and the little moths and butterflies. This is the dark green zucchini. They are getting huge. Look at the size of these leaves, you guys. Look at the size of that. That's my hand. Huge, 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 huge. No zucchini yet, but they did just start flowering this week. Here is some more yellow squash. I have about 3 plants here. One is quite larger than the other 2. And I took a squash off that, and it was a very good sized squash. This was also early summer yellow crookneck squash, but this one is Dixie hybrid, and it was set to be ready at 43 days, whereas the other one is at 53 days. So this one is coming ready sooner. Then in here we have the Clemson okra, spineless okra, coming along well. I'm worried that this may not get all the way to production because we started getting these cold temperatures, which are not seasonal for us. I know it's seasonal for everybody else to be cold, but not us. Today is more seasonal for us with highs in the 80s, lows in the upper 60s. And like I said, we had some temperatures in the upper 60s for the high, and the lows were in the upper 40s, and that's just not seasonal for us. But we shall see, because there are some little buds coming along. Hopefully they make something, because I would like some okra. Again, I got started late this year. The peas are starting to come out. My brother helped me put this trellis in that we made out of some old cattle panels from either our pig pens or our sheep pens back from many years ago when I was still in school doing 4-H and FFA and raising pigs and sheep. But that is hopefully going to work well. We just made kind of a little lean-to out of 2 cattle panels and put the posts on the outside, the T-posts, just to kind of keep it from flopping over to either side. They are tied together at the top. Hopefully the peas on both sides will climb right up that. Looking pretty terrible over here are the California black-eyed cow peas, or black-eyed peas if you would. They were terribly infested with black aphids. I sprayed them down with a soap and alcohol and water solution, which really burned the leaves, and then the wind came along and burned them even more. There is some new growth coming in that looks really nice, but it's starting to get aphids on it. The aphids had died back, but they are coming on the new growth as well. So I might have to use something like neem oil or I don't know what to get rid of those aphids, because the alcohol burned the leaves. Here's our sugar pie pumpkin growing along. The spaghetti squash are doing well. They were trellising up at least to here last week, and I was hoping they'd get higher, but the wind came and knocked a lot of them down, and I had to help some of them back up. Very difficult to do without breaking them. Here we have some cucumber. I don't remember the exact breed, but these are supposed to be burpless right in here. And then there were some pickling cucumbers in here. We had some bald spots. Again, I put in some little starts. They're not doing a whole lot of anything right there. Let's hope they live. And then further up here, after the pickling cucumbers, which I believe are these guys, we have the Sumter cucumbers over here. Oh, and I did put in, see if I can get it for you, about 3 in these bald spots in the okra, little tiny starts of Black Beauty eggplant. That was last weekend. They haven't done much of anything, but they live, so that's positive, right? Cucumbers also got knocked off the trellis that we made. I went up a couple more levels, as you can see, hoping that they'd be up there by now, but with the wind they are not. There goes the sun again. Okay, here we have the tender green bush bean, all in here, doing well, putting on flowers. There's some tiny little beans on some of them. And then this is the golden yellow bean, and they are also putting on some tiny little beans. These are further along than the tender green beans, so these might be ready sooner. And then over here we have the tomatillos, quite a few of them. I'm waiting to see which ones do the best before I cut out some of the other ones. I don't need a whole lot, and they get rather large and bushy. So I'm going to have to get rid of some of these guys once they get bigger. I've put in these really, really sad looking tomato holders. I forget what they're called. Anyway, here to try to hold these up. They look like this because they've been used for many, many years by my grandparents, and then they've been not used for many years in the back of their house here. So pulled those out. They are pretty terrible looking, but they work, right? Okay, and then this weekend also I put in some onions. I had put in onion seed, if you'll recall. Nothing happened with that. There was not any information on the packages. I don't recall, but I don't think there was on when they would sprout. I gave it several weeks, nothing happened. So I went ahead and got some onion starts, and these are for, I believe, yellow onion. It didn't say on the tag, it just said onion, but they do look like yellow onion. And then in here, I put in little bulbs of red onion. They didn't have any greens on the top, so they were planted a little different, but they're in the dirt, I assure you. And up here we have some garlic, along with a couple cloves of elephant garlic. And then, just to note, along the outside, I am planting marigolds all the way around the outer edge. They're going to be like these. Hopefully, these were started by the company that I bought them from. But they look very similar to what was on the seed packages. So hopefully once those guys get going, they will look like this all the way around the outside. Half the garden was done last weekend, and the other half I did this weekend. So hopefully in a month or so we should have marigolds. The temperatures are being odd in South Texas right now. Well, all over the country, I guess. So we'll see what makes and what doesn't make, but it is bright and sunny today, and I'm starting to sunburn, so I will leave y'all with that shot. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.